Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. And welcome back to the Wrasslin for Life Network. Today, we come at you with a dirt sheets debate, if you will, but we're going to jump into the bold predictions of 2025. All the exciting stuff that could, should, or maybe would happen if we get our ways. But all three of us are going to dive into this one tonight. Make sure you get in that chat. Make sure you hit all the buttons. Be a part of the show. Strap in, strap on, grab your snacks, grab your feel good, and let's go. Ding, ding, ding. We're live back at it again, folks. Like I said, we are the Wrasslin for Life Network. We're going to hang around for the next little bit. We're going to dive into our bold predictions for 2025, coming off the heels of what was an insane 2024. 2025 on and rolling, a couple days in, already some big news happening and lots to talk about already with more on the horizon. Of course, we've talked about Netflix and HBO Max and all these deals, all these shows, two-night events, and so much more. We're going to talk all about it. I see that chat filling up, but I will take a moment to remind everybody out there, I am Mr. Everynight KJ White, the Iron Man of YouTube. That is Ringsider Anthony. That is Big Nick. And go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings to you its Tag Stream Trios Champions of the World. The chapeau that runs the show, Ringsider Anthony, the Every Night Delight, KJ White. I, Big Nick, and yeah, maybe we might be talking about the Trios belts a little bit later on and everything. But yeah, 100%. We're 2 days in to 2025 now, and I'm already super jazzed and everything. We're off to a good note, I feel, when it comes to wrestling in 2025. Dynamite on Max went off swimmingly, I should say, and then we're going right into Raw on Netflix, which is WrestleMania adjacent. I feel, my guy.
Anthony?
Yeah, with I've never seen Triple H tweet this much in the past like 3 weeks. And he's reminding us about Netflix and Raw coming this Monday, which I'm super excited about. I think it's going to be a stat card. 2025 in wrestling altogether, I think is going to be miles over what we saw in 2024 with shocking things happening all year.
No, absolutely. I don't think it's going to stop. And I mean, Omos won a tag title on the first day of the year, or just on the edge of the year. Last night, Dynamite kicks off January 1 and does a pretty good job of starting the year on a good foot. So lots of intrigue. I mean, we know Adam Copeland, we know Edge, but now we got Cope. Go.
Do we want to talk about this real quick? Because
no.
Yes, this okay. Well, no, just it plays into part of my whole thing. If we want to go on, I think it's even the next slide. So there you go.
There we go. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, get in the chat. Let us know some of the things that you want to see in 2025. What your bold predictions are for 2025 as well. We'll try and touch on as many as we can. But remember, super chat, super stickers, your way to let us know what is on your mind and guarantee that we click on it. But Nick, Anthony, and myself are going to pitch out some ideas. We're going to talk about it. Let the crowd have 2 cents. I don't know why, but let the crowd throw in their 2 cents, and we will go from there. But I guess we'll kick it off. Nick's eager. You've been waiting, so
well, and I've hinted and I've teased around this one. I feel like this is like, I think both of you gentlemen know where I'm going with this and everything. Granted, I hate the whole Cope thing. I hope that goes away, and I hope the Let's Get Excited was just for the first of the year and not a continuous thing. But I digress.
I don't know.
I have Adam Copeland amongst probably at least some few other names, but Adam Copeland for sure in 2025 is winning the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. We've already seen it set up with him and Mox and everything.
But did
I think there could be some many interesting roads that we go amongst this and everything. Yeah.
It's the Cope and the learning tree, man. I don't know.
Well, Nick might be onto something because that was actually a part of my bold prediction. It was actually that Cope and Christian will feud over the World Championship in AEW with what is it? Christian holding what their version of the Money in the Bank, basically. I can see that happening. I could really see Cope taking the title away from Moxley and Christian immediately cashing in and winning the title off of Cope, and then they feud for a couple of months. Don't think it'll be anything long term, but I could see it for maybe two or 3 months tops.
I have to request that you stop calling him Cope.
I was like,
you're killing me.
Flashback. Every time I cringed.
Right. I'm with you. I think there's a spot where Copeland wins, and that is the cash in. Christian's not going to cash in on. I don't know if it even expires, when it would expire, if it does. But everyone has this big moment of cheering for Adam Copeland, and Christian steals the spotlight. To me, it's the only thing that makes sense. Christian taking it off Mox does not make sense. Rated FTR fighting the Learning Tree doesn't make sense, but I digress. I could definitely I agree with this. I could see him having a title run at some point. Him and Christian make a lot of sense.
Well, we've got a prayer that Jericho retires in 2025, but that's not a prediction. That's a prayer. Could you see it of Christian screws Copeland, Adam Copeland? I'm not calling him Cope ever. It feels disgusting off the tongue. Pause. But could you see Christian screws Adam out of the first one, and then they have the rematch for the title? Like, say he cashes in, screws over. He's Seth Rollins, Adam Copeland, Roman Reigns, and then they run that back as a feud. Do what we're talking about with this, but just in reverse, and that's how Copeland wins it.
Yeah, I think Anthony and I both kind of touched on the idea that Christian would cash in, but and then you build a feud from that for sure. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Absolutely. Sup, Antonio and Anthony, contracts are coming up in January. Maybe we'll talk about that as we go along here. But what about AJ Lee?
I think 100% she has at least a match in WWE in 2025. She comes back, even if it's just for a match. Maybe not for a run, but at least for a match. We're getting close to the Royal Rumble. It's only been fitting. We've seen how much fun her hubby is having out there and everything. The people are wanting it. It's women's revolution right now, 2.0 in pro wrestling. So AJ Lee gets at least a match in WWE.
I don't know. I know everybody wants AJ Lee to come back, right? Royal Rumble, perfect spot for her. I know she's a busy woman. I think even CM Punk touched on it, like she has like a children's book coming out and things of that sort. If I see AJ Lee doing anything, it would be the Royal Rumble. I can at least attest to that.
Fair enough.
I'm going to say no. I'm just going to say that. Yeah, I mean, maybe not. She's busy. She doesn't seem too eager to get back into it. I think
how they throw you off the scent.
I'll be pleasantly surprised and enjoy this if it comes true. I just don't know that it will.
Becky came out with a whole book dress while she was promoting her autobiography and everything with that. AJ Lee can't promote a children's book.
No, but I mean, one's an active wrestler and one's a person that's walked away from it. So that'd be the big difference. Again, could it happen? Absolutely. Would I like it? I think I'd pop for it. But I'm gonna say I don't know. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Fair enough. So I got a half yes and a no. So
be a thing. Will we see the return of Charlotte? We'll get into Charlotte, Cherokee. We'll see what that brings up as we move along here. But Anthony with Dom.
Oh yeah, I think Dominick Mysterio should win a mid-card title in 2025. I think it's the prime opportunity. He's one of the strongest heels, if not the strongest heel on the main roster right now. I think 2025 is the year where you give him a decent run with either the Intercontinental Championship or the U.S. title. He is currently on Monday Night Raw, so it'll be the Intercontinental Championship if he sticks to the Raw brand during this transfer window.
I could see it happening. I could see it. He's such a hateable guy.
The only monkey wrench I have with this is because we're getting at the start of first Raw on Netflix and everything. We're getting last woman standing, Rhea versus Liv Morgan, does that kind of damper everything with Dom coming out of that? If that's the end of that feud, like, what's Dom got going past that?
Yeah, I think Dom gets to be the asshole heel that he is, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Even though I do imagine that Rhea is beating Liv, I think there's still that play. There's still the infighting between Judgment Day. If Finn, someone like Finn, was to get their hands on an IC title or a US title, depending on how all this works out, could Dom go after a mid card? I don't want to see him in the main event picture, obvious reasons. But yeah, mid card, I could see that. I could see that.
And you can potentially run a different story if they go with Rhea winning the title on Monday and that's the end of it. You could have it where now that we do have mid-card titles for the women, you can have Liv potentially win the women's IC title somewhere down the line, and you have him win the IC title, and they just, as the top heels that they're somewhat are right now, can kind of run that mid-card division somewhere in the near future.
Right. Yeah, maybe.
Well, I'm interested where, say, if when Liv loses, because I'm already, I guess, saying I'm taking Liv. We've kind of all predicted that, and that's the end of that feud. If you keep Dom and Liv together, like, where's that go? If she's the jaded one that lost the title, what have you? Like, I could still very much see this. I'm just very interested in the path of how we get there. I'll say that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, again, I don't think it's as long as you have a baby face with the title, Dom's a good guy to put up against him. You just never know when he's going to steal one. I could see
He
it.
lied. He cheat. He steal.
Right. TNA AEW. So I think we're back to Anthony.
Yeah, back to me. So this one was the one that I kind of like hinted about on our pre-show for what was it? World's End, I think it was.
Yes, sir.
But I do believe that in 2025, one TNA event will outdraw an AEW show in attendance.
Yeah,
that is not at all where I thought you were going. We talked in the group chat, and you said the visuals and everything, and that is not at all where I thought you were going with this, sir. Because I was like, "Oh, is this man thinking that they're going to do TNA and AEW crossover?" I do think we're going to get a TNA WWE pay-per-view, but
right.
I actually, that's a bold strategy. I actually like that. That's huevos right there. TNA will outdraw AEW. Are you talking attendance? Are you talking
attendance? Yeah, okay. Attendance for one show. I know they're trying to go big this year.
100%.
I think it's possible.
Well, I mean, TNA did shows last year that were in the 3,000s and upward of that. And AEW did some shows that were 1,800, 2,200. So yeah, I really think it's a high possibility in 2025 that, especially because TNA is trying a couple bigger venues to see if they can fill them. So we'll see. They seem to be up to something, right? And
yeah,
I like this one. I in 2025, TNA really could put its foot down and go, we're number 2, especially if they start landing on TV.
It will, with them going live, with them having the partnership with WWE and everything, and AEW, it coincides perfectly with AEW going to smaller venues and really trying to honestly stay within their lane. And now they might have been falling back into the pack of, I could see this. I love just how brazen it sounds, though.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's very 50-50, but then you have the opportunity for it to actually happen with them going to the UBS arena in New York, them going to whatever arena it is in Los Angeles. Yeah. It's not like the basketball arena, the big one, but like they have that opportunity to actually do it. So it would be fun to see. I won't be joining in the discourse online, but it would be fun to see the IWC freak out on Twitter. Like, oh my God, TNA might be the number 1 promotion now.
You're gonna have
number 2
to
promotion.
You're gonna
be interesting though with the potentials of certain talent. I'll say leaving TNA, if that's a big concern going into 2025, of it might be an influx of talent amongst TNA.
I think TNA does really well in a transitional period. They tend to transition a lot. They are losing some heady hitters with potentially Jordan Grace and Josh Alexander and things of that sort, but they tend to bounce back, and they've kind of been in this rebuilding stage really the past 2 years because they kind of lost Mickey James in the midst and some others. So I think they can do it. I think they can do it, and they got a lot going for them in 2025 with Matt staying. Nick Nemeth basically said he's staying. He said that he wants to face like 50 opponents in TNA next year and just build that brand. So they still got some name value still there.
Yeah, and it's who comes in, right? It's not just who goes out, but who comes in, right? I mean, they just brought in Santana that's doing wonderful things. Who else can they get their hands on? Do they get their hands on a Corbin or something like that that adds some, a little more of a zip or a wow factor to what they're doing? TNA is a little engine that could, and they seem to be very confident in their decision making moving forward. But yeah, I mean, 2025, I'm really curious to see what they do.
They're going to be the mover and shaker, I think, when it comes to 2025 and all of that. If they're going to really, like 2024, they started to make some noise. 2025, they're going to really stamp their mark on a lot of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. JDS Aviation Adventures. Welcome. The Rock returns during the Raw debut. Check that sounds good. But Roman but going into the High Chief role after then the final boss, I feel like Rock versus Roman needs to happen at least now. We'll come back around to that one, but yes, that's one of his bold predictions. Damian predicting that Will Ospreay will be champion in 2025. I think he should have already been champion. So
I agree with that. That he's one of the few that I had on my list. I mean, Bobby Lashley's on my list of guys that are probably world champion for AEW in 2025. Now, with last night, real quick, do you think Jeff Jarrett climbs King of the Mountain world champion in AEW in 2025?
I don't think Tony can help himself. I think he has to do it.
Yes, we're making Keyshawn proud.
I think he has to do it. I'm in for it. I'm in for it, man. Yeah, let's go. Why not? It's better than Mox.
Anything's better than Mox. We at least would see the world title.
Right? Swerve has another title run with AEW this year. I don't know. We already talked about Copeland. We talked about Ospreay. We talked about others. Swerve might be at the back of the line until 2026.
He's got to face off Trevor.
Right.
Yeah, issues with Trevor. TP Trev.
Right. And they could drag that out a little bit because Tony Khan likes to drag things out and then pause him in the middle and then think we remember when he restarts it. So,
That's a whole discussion for a whole other time.
Exactly.
Right? Brandon, my bold prediction are as follows. Number 1, TNA and NXT. We'll get to that one. That's coming up soon. Joint promotion, Stand and Deliver, and Bound for Glory. Now, I didn't go that far, so that's very interesting. Seth and Becky versus Punk and AJ at WrestleMania. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I mean, we've had gimmicky couple matches. They never work out well.
Right.
Not with this. Not with this. Is too visceral.
Too heated.
Yeah.
I feel like if Becky and AJ Lee actually had some animosity between the two of them, I can see it working. But throwing jabs on Monday Night Raw between the two gentlemen, I don't see it working that way. I'm with Nick that it's too raw to just throw Becky and AJ Lee in this.
Right? Yeah, it feels that gets it. Kind of drags into that gimmicky side of things. Is it really that heated? Is it really that venomous? I think they stay the course and you get something better out of them for that one for sure.
It waters it down.
A little bit.
Yes, you have your bold prediction, sir.
I like this one. I've been waiting for it. The matchup between the Queen and the Princess. I think Princess here, Miss Tiffy, cashes in on Nia Jax. Nia Jax had the belt for quite a while. She's done good things, but we see the issues bringing in Candice being a pain in the ass, wedging herself into the situation. It's been building and building and building. Tiffy cashes in. We get a big pop. But the problem for Tiffy is the Queen is upon us. And Charlotte Flair's return, she goes to the top of that mountain every single time. but Tiffy Charlotte really sets the tone for Tiffany as a champion and for the future of this company.
I guess for me, and this actually goes into my bold prediction with Tiffany Stratton.
Okay.
I was trying to think really outside the box because I
Like
actually had the Tiffany and Charlotte match down, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna change it. Right? I love Tiffany Stratton. Have nothing against Tiffany Stratton. She's one of the best right now in the women's division, but I would love to see her be the first woman to not successfully cash in.
oh, that's bold. I like it.
No, that pains me, and it's funny because I was going to halfway bring that up because statistically, it's odds on of every woman that's had the briefcase has successfully cashed in. So we're getting closer and closer to the odds of who doesn't successfully cash in. I don't want it for my girl Tiffany. I think this is Taylor's oldest time, turpentine and blonde hair dye of I think that I agree with this. I think that we're going here of we've been slowly moving Tiffany towards the babyface situation. Charlotte always works better as a heel. Of I think we're going with this of this will be the feud into WrestleMania 41. Every time though I look at those two together though, I keep thinking like the surreal life, like Perez Hilton, Paris Hilton and Nicole, whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious. This was just straight up TNA, so I think we're back with Anthony. With this
Yeah, it is straight up TNA. I don't know how bold this was, but it's been talked about a lot. But I feel like this is the year they get that big TV deal. I feel like this is the year they get it. They just landed that huge one in Canada with replacing WWE with all their programming. And then they did just introduce someone new into the management fold who I don't know his name, and I think he's under the Anthem banner, even though TNA is under the Anthem banner. He's not technically connected with TNA, but he's doing a lot of the marketing type things trying to get TNA out there. So I think this is the year where we see it. I don't know where they land in the US, but I think this is the year we see it.
Well, you see it's happening in Canada, right? We're gearing up for it now. So I think it's great. I think it's really interesting in this whole race.
Well, it's interesting that TNA's like made a bigger imprint, like you even said with Canada and everything. Like Sportsnet turned down AW to take on TNA, and we were getting TNA ads during AW and everything.
Right.
So we're getting close to the precipice of this. I think just 2025 for TNA is going to be a benchmark year of. I do think that we're going to get a crossover pay-per-view between the two companies, between WWE and TNA. I think that they're going to have to really reinvent themselves because a lot of top stars are on the outs. But I think this is them projecting into that more, moving into the upper echelon in pro wrestling.
Yeah, it sounds pretty reasonable. Brandon says, the first AEW Women's Blood and Guts match. I think this is going to happen in 2025 because people have been clamoring for it, and Tony loves to listen to the Twitter nerds.
Who would you put in it?
Just
random teams drawn out of a hat.
Sky Blue, Julia, Statlander, maybe Mercedes.
Yeah, but it'd be like 17 two-person teams.
I just stack everything you think you have. Thunder Rosa, Britt comes back and joins a team.
Well, you got Deonna Purrazzo and right, all that.
I'm scared if they do this. I hate using this term, but I feel like it would just be a little botchy because you don't have a crop of women that are super experienced, right? You got Mercedes, you got Deonna Purrazzo, Toni Storm, and I lost Mariah May, but outside of that, I don't know. I feel like it'd be a little messy. And the ones that they do in WWE war games for the women sometimes are not the best. Like this year, it started off a bit clunky, and then it kind of blossom, you know, in the second half. But with all of the not super talented women, and I'm not trying to say that in a bad way, like they're still green in a way, I feel like it could be a struggle match.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh no, I agree 100%. They need to worry more about fixing their women's division as a whole before we're starting to have multi-person women's matches. Again, I think realistically, when it comes down to now that AEW Dynamite's on Max and that they're going to smaller venues, the booking decisions, the in-ring quality, and the creative decisions are going to be much more under the microscope because the ratings discussion has gone by the wayside because of Max. Like that's kind of nerfed it. Of you can still debate it, but you look like an ultra nerd if you want to argue it. I feel. You've got the attendance and everything, which that to me, I know Anthony predicted TNA outdraws, AEW. One thing that's definitely still something. But not as much, at least with the fact that they're finally going to smaller venues. So now we're going to actually have to dig into what is the creative going on in AEW.
Well,
like we watched Dynamite and it was a tale of two shows.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's always the case with AEW. That's the ongoing question: is can they figure it out in that regard? So with that, Indy Hartwell and Tegan Knox both signed with TNA in 2025. Both, yes.
Yeah, I definitely can see that happening, especially Indy, which I recently just found out that Indy became a wrestler because of the knockouts. I think that's what I saw on social media. So a good place for her to land would be TNA.
Yeah,
I think TNA is going to sign a lot of talent that's ex WWE and everything like that. Like, what about a Jinder? What about a Trevor Lee, a Cameron Grimes, what have you?
Yeah, I think so. And I think, like you said, they've always had this system of guys and girls moving out and finding people to bring in. So there's lots of names out there.
Yep.
TK will sign more. That's not even bold, Bash.
That's happening.
That's a ding.
Right.
Bold prediction. Big Nick prediction. Big Nick will join weekly AEW coverage. Unlikely. Oh, like here?
Oh, no, we'll see. We'll see. Wait, hold
on. Prediction: TK will get a girlfriend. Less likely.
I will give you credit. That is less likely than the other one.
Seth Rollins versus CM Punk will be feud of the year. Off to a great start.
Oh, 100% of that whole promo segment back and forth on Monday Night Raw solidified why it's the main event on the debut on Netflix.
Yeah. It's really a bold prediction when, and I hate to say it, you got John Cena coming back, because if they give John Cena the right opponent, that could cook as feud of the year too. I won't vote it as feud of the year, but it could be feud of the year.
Right. Bold prediction. I don't know. I mean, I hope it's not, just because, I mean, there's so much more to happen, right? The Rock and Roman, Cody and whoever, KO. Like, there's so much I want to see this year. Kenny, what does he do with Okada? Is Kenny Moxley a thing? Ospreay, Kenny. I think it's going to be amazing, and I'd like to see, as we get late in the year next year, we're talking about some of the really good rivalries that were better than it.
Well, I worry, are we going to get all the way to July before we get Kenny and Okada? I have a bold prediction saying that Kenny versus Ospreay is going to be match of the year, because I do think that match is going to happen within 2025. But I get very concerned if we're waiting all the way to All In Texas for Kenny and Okada.
I don't want to wait that long. Why would you build a match for 7 months out?
We saw it on Wednesday. It seemed like that's what they were doing.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Speaking of Kenny, I do think that him and the Young Bucks reunite, put the EVPs back together to save AEW. From what? We don't know. They tried to burn it down on their own. They broke the boss's neck temporarily. They kind of ran a childish muck for a while. But I think Kenny's back. The crowd is super pumped about it. lots of positive vibes. So then the Bucks can circle back in and be like, oh, we screwed up, our bad, we're better now. We lost our way, but this company means more to us than anything. And here we go. So I do think we're gonna get Elite reuniting. How, when, I'm not
Does
positive.
it feel so good?
Yeah, to them it might, but to us it might not. But I definitely see this happening in 2025.
Fair enough. Anthony?
So I'm assuming we're kicking Okada out because wasn't he the replacement for Omega right earlier this year? I can see that. I can actually see that happening. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Kenny could be the one to bring the Young Bucks back to their old mind, their old character. So I can definitely see that happening.
I already think the Young Bucks are going to try and come back as baby faces and just act like the whole heel elite thing didn't happen.
We do.
If Kenny beats Omega, if Kenny beats Okada, that's what I was trying to say. I could see them very much of just ta-da with a magic wand, and they'll act like 5 months of story didn't happen and everything.
No,
and they'll just move along to it, and we'll get like Kenny versus Moxley or something.
No, I really do think they're going to give the whole heartfelt, like, we love this company. Like, they're going to throw themselves on the sword and go uber sympathetic.
Well, what are they fighting against, though? Tony Schiavone, Moxley is supposed to be the antithesis, and they don't even know what his motive is.
Well, they're going to save the day, bro. They're going to save the company from the big bad Death Riders.
From the big bad, I don't know what.
That's why I'm not that confident in the whole Edge thing, because they kind of complicated it last night. They're going to fight the Learning Tree on Saturday, and Kenny's lurking. Now, Kenny's going to go after Okada. So, I mean, I don't know. It's a little bit of a clustery nougat right now.
Yeah, it is definitely a fucking cluster. It's one of those like caramel turtles you get with the pecans and the caramel and everything like that, the chocolate coating, because you have heels and baby faces agreeing with what Moxley's doing, but we all don't know what Moxley's doing. But we still have baby faces that are going against Moxley. We've still got the elite that's floating out there, like Anthony brought up, of Okada's the one that replaced Kenny, so we do have to address that. Of the main event scene has cool shit happening, but none of it connects together.
Right.
Yeah.
I've seen people try to connect it together on Twitter, and they can't even connect it together. The big AEW fans. So
commentators can, dude. John Moxley out there in the main event and everything, and they don't even get what exactly he's trying to do.
Right.
Nope. So yeah, I mean, we'll see on that one. Back to the chat real quick. Punk versus Cena some point during Cena's farewell tour. I think you gotta. There's so much there. I think you have to.
I respectfully don't want to do that because their match at Money in the Bank holds such a spot in my memory.
They team up.
And don't soil that. You can't recreate that, so don't even try.
Okay. So you wouldn't want to see them run it back?
No, there's one or two other people I'd rather see Cena run it back with and everything. To me, it's one of those of that was that good, and it was so organic to the moment. Don't fuck with greatness. Like it was good, just don't fuck with it.
I guess I'm on the reverse because I would rather see Cena and Punk go at it one more time than Cena and Orton, because we've seen Cena and Orton 72 times between 2008 and 2012. I don't need to see that again. We saw Cena and Punk maybe 4 times. It wasn't a lot, and I would rather kind of see that more than Orton.
I think because of what they meant and that Money in the Bank match and such, I'd be down for it. I kind of feel like you got 12 months. You can fit in something. Like, do they team up together maybe one night? Like, Seth and whoever Cena's mad at against Cena and Punk one time. I think there's got to be some Cena and Punk on this farewell tour. There's just too much there.
Yeah, but no, that was lightning in a bottle. Like, you can't recapture that. You can't recapture.
What if it's not a recapturing as much as just You know, again,
but I think that's part of what made that match so great and so good. Of that's like it just hit that night. Of sometimes you have a slice of pizza or whatever that you can have 10 other nights and everything like that, and it ain't ever as great as the night you had it. Of I'm the opposite of I'd rather more see Randy versus Cena another time and everything. Of I think that's just I guess we're destined to do this dance forever.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think there's a decent list of names that we kind of want to see on this tour, and I don't think you have to choose. I think you know you will get an opportunity, something between Orton and Cena, just because of what they meant to each other. But yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. Boston feeling like you need Cena, you need Punk Cena. Like, why wouldn't you want to see that? The big part about that is it's so marquee, right? If you were announcing Punk Cena SummerSlam 2025, people lose their fucking mind.
I just want to see how we get there though, because that's the thing, is because you can't have them both be baby face, and I don't see Punk really going true heel for like at least for this year. I would say that.
I don't even see it as an actual feud, to be honest. You can just literally have a one-off match with them. That could be like, and I'm not saying it happened at the beginning of the year, but that could be like one of his sunset matches between October and December. Just on a random Monday Night Raw, you set up John Cena versus CM Punk, and you just have them
Raw,
and you just have them wrestle, and whoever wins wins. Like I feel like he in the latter part of the year, it'd be more of Cena having the matches that he wants as he goes out, and nothing really meaningful. And I'm not saying meaningful as in a bad way, but nothing as of meat behind it. He's just having his fun matches towards the end, and that could be one of them. And then with Raw being on Netflix, it's not really a throwaway match when you got 80 million people that could tune in around the world.
Yeah, you're not wrong at all. And the idea that, I mean, even like, you know, Cena, like you said, handpicking guys like, well, Chad Gable, because he's a mini Kurt, like, you know, just matches that he wants to have, like an Orton, a KO, whatever. I think that definitely, it just feels like their names are so big. If Cena's going to be in the company at the same time as Punk for 12 months, how would you not have them cross paths?
They can cross paths, but it's having a match. It's like one of those of, I guess, when it comes to Cena and his retirement tour, do you want to see him go out with actually like a story, a narrative, a creative, what have you, or just he's out there collecting trophies of he's playing the greatest hits across the board?
I think it's a bit of both. I think you tie in his greatest hits to the story that he's telling, and I think we can get there. But speaking again there, Byron thinks Asuka is going to be female of the year in 2025. Could be.
I just need her to return.
I just hope she returns in 2025.
I'm going to say no. I think there's so many names out there, Byron, but you never say never. She is talented. Athena finally appears on Dynamite.
I have that on my checkerboard. I 100% have that. I put it as Athena leaves Ring of Honor and joins the quote unquote main roster.
Okay.
Because, Athena's super talented. They even swerved us with the Minion expulsion ceremony to where it wasn't Billy Starks who just challenged her for the title and everything and has been having a feud with her. So that there's only so much she can do down there. You need to bring her up. You need to have her there. And now it becomes the question of what do you do with her there?
Yeah, that's the scary part of what do you do with her, because like we see what's going. I always bring this up, but Deonna Purrazzo, like she's not doing anything. Taya Valkyrie's not doing anything.
Right.
Mariah May won the title, and it's boring as crap. So I'm like, what do you do with somebody that has had this legendary women's championship reign in Ring of Honor and bring her up to Dynamite? You got to push her, right? I feel like you got to push her.
Yeah, 100%. But you got to use her if you have her, Athena Mercedes or Athena Stat. Like, I mean, I don't know. Is there a chance that Athena leaves Ring of Honor and just leaves the umbrella and heads somewhere else, heads home?
Oh, it's interesting you said home. I was going to go with the whole thing of, to me, Does Mercedes Moné lose the TBS title in 2025? That to me is a bigger question than anything.
Late 2025, if ever.
Yeah, at this point, it's late 2025, and I don't want to get on a Mercedes soapbox because this is not the episode for that.
Right.
But the things I've seen over the past couple of days has kind of annoyed me. But
yeah, so I don't know if this is my side or Anthony's side or all of our sides. It's not that bold of a prediction. Genesis is coming up, number one contender, Joe Hendry. Some people feel like they've waited too long to pull the trigger, but now is the time. New year, new vibe. It is the Joe era. I believe in Joe Hendry. Y'all better believe in him too. This is his year in 2025.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it. He's winning at Genesis. If he doesn't win at Genesis, like, I'll literally be shocked. And I hope they don't go with the theory of Kazarian cashing in, because at this point, I think it would be wrong, right?
Yeah.
If he won at Bound for Glory and then Kazarian cashed in and they kind of ran that until now Genesis, I would be okay with it. But at this point, the TNA fans want it. The fans that's trying to tune in to TNA want it. They got to do it and they got to run with it, and they can say Frankie Kazarian for another moment.
Yeah, I don't know the Frankie thing, why it's there, but man, I think you might anger some fans when you're trying to do good things. It's risky. It's risky.
Worst potential cash in 2025: Tiffany Stratton, Christian Cage, or Frankie Kazarian.
I think it's easy. Frankie Kazarian has the worst cash in.
Yeah, maybe he's
at least get the most heat if he cashes in. I think Joe Hendry has to win this, or at the very minimum, he will be TNA World Champion within 2025. I think this piggybacks even of, do we see him in the Royal Rumble in 2025?
Let's say yes, because I think it'll be fun. I think the fucking music alone is worth it, and especially if he's champ. If he becomes champ like a few days before Rumble, a week before, or 10 days, let's do it up.
Yeah, and I think it's very interesting that he booked him. He's a part of the Jericho cruise. I don't know if anybody saw that. And this literally starts the day after the Royal Rumble. So I think he could win the title and then show up at the Royal Rumble with the title. He'll be the first male superstar with the TNA World Championship showing up in the Royal Rumble. I think it's perfect.
Right.
Well, and the man won an NXT, award while he still being a TNA superstar.
He won the same award from TNA and NXT of Moment of the Year.
What up,
cross promotional?
That's smart. What's up, Geekbox? $10 super chat. We appreciate it, sir. Hey, boys, just replied to all of you. Then seeing you was on. TNA is looking fantastic this year. They've returned to true developing their own talent organically and paying off big time. Yeah, they're good. They've always been good like that, though. And we appreciate it. Geekbox really do.
Absolutely. Could you see WWE buys TNA in 2025?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Dave Meltzer retires. We're not that fucking lucky.
Who would you rather retire in 2025? Chris Jericho or Dave Meltzer? You have to pick one.
I can pick one easily. I can easily pick one. It's Chris Jericho. I could deal with Dave Meltzer and his stupidity on social media, but seeing Chris Jericho and his flabby self every week it's a bit much.
Yeah, I can ignore Meltzer and his bullshit. Generally, a lot of cases now, especially since I was blocked, it's just secondhand info anyway. So
you were blocked.
What are the odds?
I did not know that.
You're not?
I mean,
well, I was trying to answer you. Like, you're not.
I'm not blocked by Dave Meltzer.
We have a whole t-shirt telling him to go himself.
Right? But Jericho being force fed to me once a week, twice a week. Please retire. Good old JR could retire in 2025. I mean, he's barely used. We saw him at World's End, and he seems so unenthused about anything.
The whole commentary team can retire in 2025, but okay.
Amen.
For multiple reasons. I was gonna at least give JR a pass of like, you've done your service.
Yeah,
you're good. You can go off into that. You can go off into the sunset. I will say Meltzer just because so many other outlets, sources, what have you, source Dave Meltzer. Like, I can, if Jericho's on TV, I know, just don't look. But if Meltzer is out there getting sourced by PWI, by Cultaholic, by WrestleVotes and everything, like, no, even if I'm still not paying attention to him, I'm bombarded with his bullshit.
Well, you know what? You got a good point, though. If he retires, it could put like 15
It just puts an
out
end
of
to
business.
nonsense. Oh, the noise.
Right. Bold prediction. Ricky Starks will be a member of the WWE before the calendar flips to 26.
Yes, enough said right there. 100%. You got it, dude.
When does his contract expire? Do we know?
It's in March.
March. Okay.
Now it could be bullshit.
March weather.
March is killing us. But yeah, no, I think a lot of people, including Ricky, are just dying for that contract to expire.
And I don't know if I'm misinformed, but I thought Tony Khan had told us to wait until the first episode on Max and we would see him. Am I tripping? Did anyone else see that?
No, the last thing I saw was he refused to sign the Ricky Starks sign, which was hilarious.
Okay, so I'm tripping, but still, he should be somewhere in AEW at this point.
Well, didn't Tony say I'd love to book Ricky?
Right, and you're the booker, so
well, it's like being in a relationship with somebody and everything. Like, I'd love to go and spend time with him. Well, you dated him, just go do it, like just right there. Like, it's like, oh no, who are you talking about? What? Right. When he wouldn't even sign, and granted, it was a fan sign who was one of those. It's a little kid of like, this is my like 5th Dynamite and everything, and she's even gonna sign that says free Ricky.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, let me just sign this over on the backside.
I would have signed it. If I was Tony Khan, I would have signed it. Fuck Ricky.
Bro, if you mean what you say, then why are you tap dancing around it? If you really wish, that's the 100% chance for you to put the ball in his court of saying, I'll sign it, of I'm not running away from it, of you make it look like Ricky's the one that has the issue.
Bold prediction. Josh Alexander joins NXT to confront Ethan Page and we get the North. I say yes. And I think that's what this depressed, sad Ethan Page is he's got to be reminded he's talented and he needs a guy like Josh to pick him up by the bootstraps. That's what I'm saying.
I need my flame.
I agree with this all the way. Yeah.
John Moxley returns to WWE in 2025. I thought that's what you were saying you agreed with.
No. Ooh. The other one with Josh Alexander in the North. Yeah.
This one's for Nick.
Wendy Chu finally gets gold and Nick goes ballistic. I want to say something as a prediction, but I don't want to speak on people's employment, so I won't. But I will talk about Jacob Fatu of, I think, in 2025, this man at bare minimum touches singles gold. I know Anthony had Dom Mysterio. I think Jacob Fatu at least holds singles gold in WWE one way or another, by hook or by crook.
I agree.
I think he has to, right?
Right?
We keep seeing fantasy matches of we want him versus Braun Strowman. We want him versus Braun Breaker. We want him versus all the Brauns. Yeah.
Right. I think Cody Rhodes and him too. Like, let them square off. Like, there's a lot of potential with Jacob Fatu in 2025, and I feel like the potential is even to just get him away from the bloodline. Let that man stand on his own, right? Let that man stand on his own and run the mid-card division and then push him to the world title scene.
Yeah, the only thing I wonder, I think what concerns me a little bit with the bloodline stuff is it goes and goes and goes. So like a year from now, it could be like Jacob and Solo are breaking up, maybe. Like, who knows how long they're going to make it happen. But even if he stays within the bloodline, him taking out, a U.S. champion, or man, like you said, let him go after Cody. It feels like every time he goes nose to nose with somebody, everyone loses their mind. And it's like, oh, we need this match, whether it was Braun or KO or Braun Strowman, they got a huge pop for. Like the place went bananas. So yeah. How do you keep him away from gold?
Well, you know that the talent this man is. I wish they just let him speak a little bit more outside of even just, I love you, Solo. Like, it's great for the memes and everything, but anyone that's watched Jacob before he got to WWE knows he is just the most, like, if WWE wants to have a kind of authentic edge and everything, especially now with these moves to Netflix and everything, and you want to act like the wrestlers are being authentic, Jacob Fatu is your guy for that. Of 100% of this man, absolutely, you feel everything he says on an actual promo, and he's got the fucking talent to back it up in the ring. Of Kevin Owens versus Jacob Fatu, wet dream. Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu, already now, wet dream. Like, that's the thing, is this man, he's got the backing, like, got the talent that Roman Reigns has with the newness that Solo Sikoa has.
Yeah, no, he's great. He really is. He's gonna be insane in 2025. And what a 2024 he had, arguably kind of a mainstream breakout for him. So yeah,
Right.
I would watch your back. TNA NXT. I don't know how bold of a prediction this is, but it has gone a little bit quiet, so maybe it makes it a little bit bolder. We already touched on it with one of the chats, but NXT, TNA, we finally get the show. We finally get whatever it is, but we get the pay-per-view that puts these two companies against each other or somehow coinciding with each other. Against makes more sense, but NXT, TNA, one-on-one.
Obafemi versus Joe Hendry.
Or Moose.
No, I'm saying Obafemi. You'd have your NXT World Champion versus your TNA World Champion.
Mhm.
I would love Oba versus Moose, but yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see Masha versus Julia. Like that would be something, right? Yeah, I definitely see this as the year happening. I think they got to pick it up a little bit. I think they might around Genesis. You got Genesis and the live Impact in Texas. You got Saturday night main event in Texas. A lot of things happening in that 1 week in Texas.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where you kind of bring it together. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Boston saying he heard they're not working together anymore. I have not heard that deal has died, but again, I think they already had a plan as far as ebbs and flows to it all. So we'll see. It has been a little quiet, maybe with all the other stuff going on, Netflix and everything else. Maybe it has gone quiet, but I don't think they're done yet.
Oh no, not at all. Of holiday season, Netflix deal, and everything like that.
Yeah.
I think this is more of just a resting period. That's even why we're going to take a Christmas off. We're going to take a New Year's off and everything like that. It's the holiday season. I think gearing into 2025, the partnership between TNA and Netflix is going to, or NXT is going to be stronger than it was even before.
Yeah. And I did see something this week, and the IWC did explode about it. But when he won the NXT Moment of the Year, Joe Hendry, he did say he would show up, and he said it before that on any show at any time. And right after he said that, they played the Monday Night Raw Netflix package, like literally right after he said it. So they kind of ran with that. It was kind of interesting timing too. So I don't know.
Yeah. Bold prediction: Kevin Owens gets his hands officially on a strap in 2025.
I would love him to take it away from Cody. I know
too.
they got so many things probably going on with Cody heading into WrestleMania, but man, would it be insane if he took the world title away from Cody, or the WWE Championship away from Cody. But I agree there. He's winning something this year.
I could see it even if it's just for, we've talked about it, even if it's for a month, if it's for a couple of weeks, what have you. Doesn't have the longest run, but at least to have him have it.
150%. I would love to see it. I don't know, but yeah, I would. I really like to see this guy get some type of singles gold. He's been phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obafemi joins the main roster.
Ooh. Throughout the length of 2025, yeah, I can see that.
Do you see Obafemi joining the main roster before Trick Williams?
Oh,
I think that's even more of a bold.
No, just because it's still Trick, and just because same thing, Carmelo, all of that. I won't. It's one of those, if I can put it this way, it's like seeing somebody get drafted before somebody else, but knowing that that later draft pick ends up paying off more and everything. I'll put it that way. I feel like Oba's a blue chip, like can't miss, but I think he's still got room to grow, got legs to stretch in NXT. While Tricks, he's at the end of his rope when it comes to NXT, I feel.
Yeah, I think Tricks. I think you're kind of right. I think timing is everything, and I think as great as we feel about Oba, I think that he's still got work to do. I think he goes and takes that NXT World Title, and he has a run for a while. But I just wonder if post WrestleMania, late summerish, do they start getting it, kind of an itchy trigger finger, find a way to get the belt off and push him up, or he just gives the belt back and says goodbye? Who knows?
Well, would it be before? Like I think it was Anthony that said it. Would Oba come up before Trick? I think Trick's your first call up.
Yeah, I think Trick might beat him there just because he had a head start.
Yeah, he's got the Carmelo Hayes story and everything like that. Like even if they have to pull the ripcord on Carmelo, they'll put those two as a tag team and call it a day.
Interesting. John Cena will be world champion and take the record in 2025.
I think this is almost feels like a given, like a layup. I wonder. I have an outside theory that ties into something else of how we get here.
What
is Cody Rhodes turns heel and he gets, annoyed, what have you, and everything of John Cena taking over his essentially kid-friendly spotlight. And that's how we go into like WrestleMania 40 of Cena versus Cody. If Dwayne's out the picture, we get Cena, Cody in a WrestleMania 40 in Vegas.
Ooh. Anthony.
I don't know.
Hey, that's a good sign right there, folks.
I don't know if I do think he'll be the world champion. I do think that. I just don't believe The Rock is out the picture.
No.
I don't think that at all. So I don't think we'll get that at WrestleMania 41. I think that's where I know comes in at.
Yeah, I think Cena's gonna win the belt.
Yeah.
I would put the bet that Cody does not turn heel in 2025. He's a babyface all the way through 2025.
I see Cody going heel like Homelander, of one of those of like he thinks he's justified and he's right. He's like when Tony Stark kind of turned heel of like, I think I'm right, even though you all are wrong. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Cody is probably going to be on both shows with the whole Netflix thing and the brand split not really being a split. But I actually see John Cena taking the World Heavyweight Championship away from Gunther than the WWE Championship. Yes. I actually think Gunther and Cena would be a decent feud, would be really good. You got Cena who can really go on the mic, and you got Gunther who can hold his own, but Cena be that one to kind of take him down a few notches, which he has done in previous feuds. So I would rather see that than Cena and Cody.
Yeah, I like the idea that Gunther, the tomfoolery, the way Cena approaches the promos it doesn't phase a guy like Gunther. Like, oh, you and your jokes, you got jokes, great. I think he eats them alive. Yeah, I don't see Cody turning heel anytime in 2025. I would be shocked if he turns heel in 2026. Maybe 2027, we can talk about it. I don't see Cody becoming a heel anytime soon. It's one of the reasons why he's in the WWE is he wanted to stay a babyface, uber babyface. I can't see him turning anytime soon. But yeah, I think they want to get Ric Flair. I know, Cena, greatest of all time. He gets that nod by taking Ric Flair's record.
So, okay, I'll go with you on all of that. Of where does Cena win the record-breaking championship? Does he do it at Mania? Does he do it not at Mania? Does he do it in his last match? Like, where do you have, if you're going to call Cena breaking the record, where does he break the record?
The last match thing is a really good idea, to be honest. Have him retire as world champion. It's been done in the past. Like the first person that comes to mind is Trish Stratus doing it. So
push against me.
Like that would be pretty cool, right? To see him win and then retire. So he technically doesn't have a run, but he still breaks the record and goes out on top, which you don't see that a lot, with retirees. Like you don't see them go out on top. Well, I'm not counting Sting. He's in AEW, but in WWE, the majority of the time you don't see them go out last on top. Year. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I could see it being Mania. Some people think that Cena might win the Rumble and challenge Gunther as part of winning the Rumble. Other people said, they're making a big deal about John Cena's last pay-per-view in Toronto. So maybe he wins the Chamber and challenges Gunther. There's possibilities there. I don't want him to win the Royal Rumble. I really don't. Yeah, I mean, again, I think if Cody's kind of busy with all the things and all the moving parts there, Gunther and Cena at Mania has a nice little ring to it.
Do you build into a situation to where you get Cena versus Randy and it's chasing down the title, chasing down the record or anything like that? Like, does Randy ever play into this outside of just his lineage with Cena versus the title race?
Well, sorry, Anthony.
No, you go ahead.
Well, if you're being sentimental, I mean, technically, if Cena won that belt and Randy showed up like, hello, old friend, and Randy's the one that retires him, like ends his run, and also wins a belt doing it, I'm in. He's still one behind.
Just bookend everything. And then Randy retires and vacates it too. And they go all off in a nice sunset.
The only reason why I don't factor in Randy Orton between the months of now and maybe June is because he still has to go through Kevin Owens. He still has to come back and get his lick back from Kevin Owens. And I don't know how Cody Rhodes plays into that as well, because Randy could come back and be upset with Cody for some reason. I don't know, but he still has to get to Kevin Owens between now and WrestleMania. Right. I would actually see them build that match happening at WrestleMania, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Would you, and this is to the chat and to anyone that can hear our voices right now, would you be mad if they leave Cena at where he's at? He's tied for it, what have you. He doesn't break it or anything like that. Like, he just still rides off in the sunset. No world titles, no run like that. He just goes out like a troubadour. Like, are you mad if he doesn't go on a world title?
I'm not mad. I'm curious to see how they do it. He doesn't have to do it, but I do think that him winning that record just kind of cements greatest of all time. And I just feel like Triple H keeps reminding us he's the greatest of all time. And it validates it even more because it's from Triple H, one of the greatest of all time. Yeah, I don't know. Mad, no. I mean, if he still has fun, like I just keep saying I think he's gonna do it. I think he's gonna break the record.
Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with you. I don't. If he wins, he wins. If he doesn't, he doesn't. to be honest. I think he's already kind of solidified himself as being one of the greatest of all time in the majority of the wrestling community's eyes. So yeah, I don't think it's a need. I think it's more of a want at this point by the fans.
Yeah, that's fair. 20.
That's actually a really great way to put it, because is it, a want by the fans and a payoff with the company, of because then now John Cena is the ultimate face now to promote anything WWE.
Oh, yeah.
John
Yeah.
Cena. We can now move away from the drunkard Ric Flair.
Right.
We can go to John Cena.
100%. Speaking of gold, Keyshawn thinks that Omos will win singles gold in Japan. He's already got tag titles. Can they turn him into a single star?
Just let him stay over there. 100%. I think if he goes over there and he has a run in Noah, like you see giants like Andre and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Sapp's a great example of have runs in Japan and just look like monsters. And then you can bring them in that exclusivity back into the US and everything. Now they feel bigger than life.
You're not wrong. What if Penta and LA Knight one more time like they did in Impact, Anthony?
We got to get Penta into WWE first. Hopefully that's what those
No.
right?
You already called this man Cope. I'm not going to let you get away with this again. I got to call fucking Holding.
What did I do wrong? I called him Penta.
You're telling me you can right now can't tell that they're bringing in Penta with Monday Night Raw.
You never know. You never know.
Right?
We don't know until some type of music
It's
hits
quite
on
harder to
Monday.
make it, Penta.
I'm just saying, we don't never know, because until that music hits, it could be somebody we never heard of before. I'm just saying.
Right. Until you see it, you don't know. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Run it back. Nick Aldis comes out of retirement for a match in 1925. In 2025.
I have that on my checkerboard. I think that Nick Aldis for sure at least has a match in WWE within 2025. What match that may be, I don't know, but I think that he wrestles in 2025.
Oh, it's a good one. I'm gonna say no, but Anthony.
If I see anybody that he could wrestle, it could be Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens could lose out this feud of whatever he's doing right now, and then he can turn this and blame it on Nick Aldis, and then you get Nick Aldis versus Kevin Owens.
That's why KJ said no. He didn't want to wrestle Nick Aldis.
I like it. I mean, and if Drew moves over to SmackDown, there is potential there as well.
Yeah.
Like if you do get Drew shifting shows, and there could be a lot of tension between these two, and Aldis says, shag it. We're gonna do this. I'm all for it, man. Nick Aldis is not a little man, so let's do it.
One, I don't think his days of in-ring action are done, and especially throughout, we've got the whole of 2025 and everything. So yeah.
Matt Riddle returns to WWE in 2025.
TNA didn't want him. He's not showing up in WWE.
Keyshawn, be happy we at least thought that Jeff Jarrett might win the AW World Championship. Don't press your luck, my guy.
Right. That might be asking a little too much. Nick, feel the cope. No.
Release the cope.
I'm not sure whose Jordan's suggestion this is. Anthony, probably you.
It wasn't mine, actually. I actually ran through all of mine already.
Fair enough. Well, I'll go with it. I got one for Jordan.
I got a Jordan.
I feel that not only will she debut in WWE in 2025, but that she will win singles gold in WWE within 2025. Whether it be she goes NXT route, what have you, whether she wins a world championship, I feel at some point within 2025, Jordan Grace will not only be within WWE, but will be a champion in WWE.
I don't see Jordan Grace showing up instantly from leaving TNA.
Okay.
I think she takes some time away.
Okay.
The one that showed up while she was actively signed with TNA. Okay.
No, I'm only saying that because her husband's contract expires roughly around this month too.
Oh,
Maybe there is a potential of them stepping away for a minute.
well, having some
Um,
downtime.
yeah, and that's why. And the only reason why I thought about that is because she signed for TNA for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
She was supposed to go through the summer, and then she asked for her contract to be shortened. And you ask for your contract to be shortened around the time your husband's contract expires.
Okay.
I just don't think she shows up right away. I'm not
Okay.
saying she doesn't show up. I just don't think it's going to be she leaves TNA and then 2 weeks later she's in the Royal Rumble.
Does
I
she
think
show up in the
takes some
Rumble
time
for
away.
you? Does she
No,
show up
I
in
don't.
the
She doesn't show up in the Royal Rumble for me. And I know when she signed with TNA before, she took 3 or 4 months off and then she came back.
Yes.
She quietly re-signed and then she came back. I think we get something similar. I don't think she doesn't jump ship automatically.
Yeah, no, I think that Nick got me with the NXT part. I think she may take some time. I kind of agree with you on that idea. Remember, I don't know if the WWE, like people just automatically assume she was in last year, so she has to be in this year's Rumble. WWE may be thinking like, okay, we've already done that. We could do that with someone else now. But I do see her joining NXT. I do see her becoming NXT champion. I think with a lot of this talent, patience is a virtue. I think she will be on the main roster at some point, but I definitely see her as NXT champion in 2025. Lots of talent there.
Yeah.
I will. I guess I'll go even bolder upon my prediction of. I'm saying by the time we get to the end of 2025, we're talking about Jordynne Grace as potentially women's wrestler of the year and everything. I think she comes in like a goddamn bolt of lightning and everything. I don't. You could be right, Anthony, with her taking time off. I don't know if maybe Gresham does something. If Gresham goes to NXT, which would be interessante. I think that there is enough smoke that we need to really see the fire that is Jordynne Grace, and she's about to hit the ground running, I feel, especially when it comes to WWE in 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I think a little different because I feel like she's already women's wrestler of the year from what she's done from the beginning of January all the way to now without WWE basically as her home company. She's traveled around the world defending that title. She showed up on NXT and defended that title. She did take her first pin loss in this year to Roxanne Perez. So I think she already has that moniker of the best women's wrestler of 2024 without WWE. But I think that's just my opinion. That's just kind of where I'm at. She's already kind of did what she set out to do really and make a big name for herself and grow TNA as a whole too in 2025 with the help of Moose and things of that sort.
No, absolutely.
I don't disagree with that at all. 100%, my God. That's why I love that we're the three-headed monster, because you coming in straight out, and with a whole different perspective that I hadn't even thought of and everything. So yeah, absolutely, my God. I still just think that I think she is going to have a significant run in WWE in 2025. Like, I think absolutely he's going to cement herself up there with the Charlotte Flairs, with the Rhea Ripleys and everything. I feel a little bit when it comes to
2025.
In 25, yes, I do.
Oh no, I think that's a little too fast.
I think she's in the Royal Rumble. I will at least say that for sure. I think that's without a doubt.
I'm torn on that one. I really am, because like I said, they did it, and again, she doesn't need.
Why not do it again?
Yeah, you could do it again. I'm not against it. That's for sure. But speaking of Royal Rumble, speaking of WrestleMania season, CM Punk finally gets his WrestleMania main event in 2025.
I don't know whose one this is.
It was mine.
Everybody's? You good?
It was mine. It was my.
Right. So I know. All right.
I don't. I could see it, right? I can see him main eventing WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I feel like I know this is bold predictions, right? So it's like we're going out on a limb here. I want to see like how the WrestleMania card tightens like as we get closer to the Royal Rumble to kind of make that call, because I feel like there's a lot of potential of who can main event, night 1 and night 2. And right now in my mind, I don't see it happening for Punk
Right?
this year, but as the card comes together, it definitely could happen.
Yeah, it's a hard one to call because
Yeah.
you assume you don't know how many more WrestleManias Punk has left, right? You
Right.
assume it's got a couple. So if he, maybe next year he'll get his main event. Maybe he doesn't even give a shit about the main event anymore. I don't know. We're all kind of waiting for him to finally have that moment. But if it's him and Seth, how does it play into like a John Cena's in the picture, The Rock's in the picture? There's so much shit. You're like, maybe it's not this year. Maybe he just has to go like, maybe it's not this my time, or maybe this will never happen. I don't know. I'm just gonna say he's earned it. He deserves it. Maybe he calls in his favor, and somehow it's him versus Roman. I don't know. There's so many moving parts.
No, this is why I was asking for clarification and everything, because I 100% agree with this. I already had that on my even predictions, everything. I think absolutely he main events at least a night, whether it's him versus Seth, whether it's him versus somebody, him versus Cody, if you get him versus Dwayne. I think at the very least, whether it's first night, second night, he main events a night. That was even part of the whole favor and everything of if Dwayne is still not hot to trot and everything like that, which is still up for debate. And I guess we'll see how Monday goes of Roman versus CM Punk main events, WrestleMania 41. And you get Heyman out there. He can do it again with him and Brock, with Brock and Roman, of Punk and Roman, of I don't know what to do. I love you both and everything. I think this is just a slam dunk pick here of CM Punk has too many avenues not to be main eventing a WrestleMania night.
Yeah.
And especially now they got 2 nights. You got double the options.
Right. I mean, again, rumor is he would have been one of them last year if he hadn't got hurt. So,
right.
Yeah, this could be the year. This really could be the year. The Rock and Roman, the Bloodline, the Tribal Belt. Do we get a new belt? A Tribal Belt?
No, please, fuck no. No, fuck no. No, just God, no new title belt and everything. At least with that. I still, if this match happens, it's the match we've wanted since WrestleMania 39, 38, maybe even, 38. And everything. So this match almost feels like it has to happen. It's one of those, this is that if it doesn't happen now, it doesn't happen ever.
Kind of, yeah. Will we care next year?
I won't.
But that's the thing that goes back to, is this one of the main events of WrestleMania? Because if this match happens, I feel like Rock is going to want a main event. So then you got to figure out, is CM Punk going to main event? Is it going to be Cody Rhodes one night? Is it going to be Cena night? Is it going to, like, this is why I have to really have the card kind of narrowed a little bit to say for sure CM Punk is going to main event one of those 2 nights. And this match has to happen. And I only see it as a WrestleMania main event. I don't see this in the middle of a card. I don't see this promoted as a co-main event. It really has to be a main event.
Yeah, I mean, and you think about Roman, Rock. We were talking earlier about the other names involved, even Seth, and now you also got to keep in mind we got title matches that are usually at the top of those cards. So is it Cody and KO, or Cody and Randy, or Cody Cena? Like, there's so many. Like, all right, what do you do with them? Are they co-main events to these storyline main events? Who's Drew fighting at WrestleMania? I want to be able to say, like, I think this is 100% happening. All the reports out there, The Rock said he was too busy. Nobody knows. People just like clicks. This is happening this year at WrestleMania. Just where does it fit on the card? I don't know.
And in the past 2 years of WrestleMania, night night one, I'm sorry, night one has been main evented by a tag team match, right? So you had 39 be the unified tag team championships at that time. Last year you had the bloodline rules, anything goes, or whatever it was. The tag team match with Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes and Rock and Roman. So that's why it's kind of really hard for me to say that CM Punk is truly main eventing this year.
Right.
I still think it could at least win or main event one of that. Still, again, like if this match happens, and that's the biggest question right now is if this match happens, because I'm getting to the point of we've been waiting for this since 39, 38. We're on 41, almost towards 42 and everything. Like if this match don't happen here, it ain't ever happening. It's the Punk Austin match of coulda, shoulda, woulda, because if this match happens, this has to close out WrestleMania. This is the biggest match you literally can make. It's been the biggest match you can make for now going on almost 5 years. So I can still see Punk main eventing a night, even if he's not in this match.
Yeah.
But Roman Punk, if Dwayne's not going to go, I don't think loses as much as everybody likes to want to think it does.
Could you imagine if night one was like CM Punk Gunther for the world title main event? Night two, Cody has to go second last, and Rock Roman are the main event of night two. Again, I think either way, we would literally, how can WrestleMania miss this year?
Right.
You have too many rounds in the chamber, but then again, we've said that at times, and then we get, we want Cody, we want Cody. We still don't even know what Dwayne handed Cody and everything like that. Was that Dwayne saying, I'll be number 30 in the Royal Rumble? I'm about to, make sure I get my spot.
Right? No, I mean, we still don't know. That will be long-term storytelling at some point, because we still got to know what the exchange was and how, Cody even said in the interview with Andrew of like, eventually we'll have to get back to that. So, man, a lot of possibility with WrestleMania. But that being said, yes.
I was going to ask you a real quick question of which out of those three would you rather have? Rock Roman, Rock Cody, or CM Punk Roman?
Easily Rock Roman for me. I wanted it last year. But then we had the whole pivot move. I wanted it last year, so I'm tired of them putting it off. I'm gonna need it soon.
Yeah, I think Rock Roman, just because I've been like even just doing this over the last couple of years, and I've talked it to death. Like every year we come around to Mania, and it's like, here comes The Rock. No, but this year with TKO, with Netflix, with so much happening, him on the board, it writes itself. And I think Super Chat, thank you so much, Ricky. I mean, again, a lot of people talking about, he went from, he's going to take over all of this. And we've kind of been waiting for that moment where, he becomes the high chief. So, I mean, he's the head of the boardroom or the head of the board table or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But, I think we need this payoff. I think we want it as fans.
Oh, fair enough. I'll give you with having the match, but so you think Dwayne's winning it?
Depends. I think he could win it, yeah.
Oh, I know. I hear this clearly. Roman wins this.
No, if it's are you going to get a one-off or are you going to get a story?
One-off.
Yeah,
to me, this is you end the whole tribal chief saga and everything like that, and this is the passing of the torch of Dwayne can go and be Moana and everything. He can go and be Maui and all of that and be Hobbs and fucking Shaw, while Roman Reigns is still the guy of this generation.
I don't know. I don't know that it's a one-off. Like, here's your match. It's Roman beats Rock and we all move on. Like Anthony kind of said, we'll have to see how this plays out over the next little while here. Because all the storytelling could lead into WrestleMania. But I mean, why couldn't you keep this going till SummerSlam, or make this like one of the possible rivalries of 2025 overall? I think a lot of people would be,
like 4 years old.
What do you mean?
Well, because we've been wanting this for
But we never
like
had it.
8 or 9.
So you just do a one-off and move on? You don't do a
I
story?
think we've just been building all to this moment of, I think we're, regardless of when we got this moment, once we got this moment, it was still going to go the same way.
Yeah, no, not for me. Especially with, like I said, with The Rock being involved kind of behind the scenes. I think there's something more that could happen here. And it's money. Like the idea of the benevolent Rock holding down Roman, and you keep Roman can't really go back to the title picture right away because he had the title for so long. I mean, I don't know that this is a one-off.
Anthony?
And Kyle said it in the chat, with SummerSlam being 2 nights, you could stretch this out a couple of months after WrestleMania. So I don't know. I really don't know. I'm more interested in the initial matchup. I don't have a prediction of who wins. I just want to see the match. That's kind of where I am at this point, because they put it off for a couple of years at this point, and whatever outcome that they decide, I think is going to be the best when it comes to storytelling, because we got Triple H behind it. I'm just more interested of actually seeing the one-on-one match.
Yeah, I'd give you that.
Yeah, the bill with this will really determine of whether this is a one-off or if this is not.
Yeah, I think the question is how much tread. But again, I think The Rock doesn't have to get in the ring if he's going to be the High Chief. I think he'll have a bunch of little Samoan minions doing it for him.
Solo, Domarato, Camarato,
the whole crew. But
well, that's over under 5 new Samoans debut in 2020.
5?
Lance, we got Hikuleo, that's at least 2. I'm giving you 3.
I'm gonna say it's so hard.
Just
5 is a good one.
Top of my head, so yeah.
5 is a good one.
Did you say Zilla?
Zilla's
No,
out
I
there.
didn't say Zilla. So so we're 3 now.
Right?
So
you do have like the Samoan twins.
Journey Fatu.
Journey, Juicy. Shit.
We got the Tonga sisters too out there.
That's
from
and
everything like that, which I think that they sign with at least somebody in 2025.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm gonna say less than. I think we get like 4.
4.5 Samoans.
Yeah, 4.
I think out of all of them, I see 2 in that Zillow and Hikuleo.
Well, I mean, Lance is already signed. It's just
he is already signed. I didn't.
Yeah, so
he hasn't shown up yet. The thing is, and the interesting thing with Zilla is, I don't know if you guys heard, but he is set to fight Booker T. And I think this is one of those
5 times.
Right. If you can go with me, son, then maybe we push you on.
100%. Yeah. That should be almost a thing of like how many Samoans are signed by WWE or debut on WWE in 2025.
Right. War Games match, Rock versus Roman, then Bloodline rules. I guess Team Rock versus Team Roman, but we kind of did that this year. Would they go back to it next year? I don't know.
You'd have to go through a WrestleMania cycle to get there, so that's why.
Maybe a little not.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, what else you got? Any one of you guys have anything that we didn't? An itch you got to scratch? Bold predictions. I got the idea that. The bold prediction is this, folks. We are about to hit 10K in 2025. We are about to continue to roll. We're going to continue to have the numbers that make us smile and watch this family grow across the board. But, Nick, do you have anything else that you want to throw?
You expected me to follow that up now? You get all sentimental, and now you're like, oh, well, you just
killing time.
I got one.
What?
Go ahead.
This year, the channel will interview one prominent wrestler.
Amen.
I was going to say, wait,
prominent wrestler. Either from AEW or WWE.
Working on it. I like that one. We're manifesting some shit here on the channel to start the year.
Oh, Christ. If we're manifesting shit, 100,000 subscribers, everything like that. Yeah. Well, Ricky Starks, I think that's a slam dunk. He ends up in WWE by the end of 2025. We've obviously Samoa Joe returns, Ricochet out there. Just, I think this is going to be a stellar year for Ricochet.
Yeah, after last night, I think maybe a little bit of recency creeps into that. The only fear is they fuck it up, but is out the best shit. Even going back to his WWE stuff, which I mean, he was a good baby face, but I was never that like, oh, okay, he's good. But this is like, oh, okay, I'll pay attention to this. That was excellent.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Anthony, do you feel AJ Francis becomes, TNA World Champion in 2025?
I mean, plans could change, but he actually said that he wants to focus on tag team wrestling and wants to win the tag team championships with KC Navarro. So my initial answer would be no because of what I know, but I would like for him to win it. It would be cool. It would be cool for them to run back Joe Hendry and AJ Francis, and AJ Francis be the one to dethrone him. I think that would be a pretty cool.
There you go.
Ray Phoenix debuts in 2025.
No, 2028 when his injury contract is done.
Well, this is going to be interesting. Someone else said that Ricky Starks is going to get injury time added to their contract. We won't get too far into that debate right now, but that will be an interesting situation of how much was injury time and how much was you left me at home time. At what point was I healthy to come back? That's going to be the debate with Ricky Starks in 2025.
I didn't even know he was injured. I thought he was just not booked.
Both.
He took time off for his neck. Then he got did he tweak something after that?
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, again, I think that's going to be the big fight, the big battle.
Well, so I'll say the last three things I have are more logistically things with WWE and everything. I think they announced that they have an event or they have an event at the Sphere in Vegas and everything.
Okay. I like that
one. I saw it for the UFC and everything, and you let that in a wrestling setting. Oh my God, especially on the vitamins. This is the greatest thing I've ever watched.
Has the venue for Stand and Deliver been announced? I'm assuming it has.
No? I don't think it has.
That'd be a good show. Stand and Deliver, WrestleMania weekend at the Sphere. Shafir.
But I also think that we're going to get an overseas WrestleMania announced this year, whether it's for next year or come a year down the road, what have you. We've seen enough with the UK, obviously, with what they've done with the foreign views on pay-per-views. I think we're getting a WrestleMania over there somewhere. Right. And what was the last one?
Aleister Black to WWE. I don't know when his contract's up, but yes.
Interessante. Here, also, so outside of even with booking and everything, Stephanie McMahon will return to WWE within 2025 in some capacity.
What's more likely, Shane McMahon in AEW or Stephanie in WWE?
If we were going to get Shane, we were going to get him last night. That ship is gone.
I don't think we were ever going to get Shane last night or
whatever,
whenever. But I feel like it would be Stephanie. I feel like Stephanie returning, but I also feel like that moment was when she showed up at WrestleMania and no one knew. And then the question was actually, is she back with WWE? And it was a no. So I don't know. I'm kind of leaning to no on both of them, but I feel like if it was anything possible, it would be Stephanie showing up in WWE.
Right. Logan Paul wins the Royal Rumble. Actually, that's a good one to kind of Rumble predictions. One man, one woman.
Oh, fuck. All right. Rochambeau, Anthony, for who are you good? Go ahead.
I wasn't prepared for that question because I have no clue.
I was like, Rochambeau, who goes first? Who's ready? Or I'll just go off the top. Men's CM Punk. Women's Jordan Grace.
Ooh.
Off the top.
John Cena and people are gonna hate this. John Cena and Charlotte Flair.
I was gonna say Charlotte Flair, only because if you do the Tiffany Stratton match and she cashes in at some point,
I'm surprised no one picked Becky. I thought someone was going to pick Becky.
She's won enough.
Right, true.
AJ Lee. Let's let
AJ
it
Lee wins the Rumble. EO.
Harder to predict men's or women's.
They're both a mess this year because honestly, like, I mean, it's so hard. Like, literally, there's probably 12, 15 men that are like, you know, always have they're a big chunk of the Rumble. You're like, we know that guy's not winning. We know this person not winning. Literally, like 20 up to 20 of them are like, maybe. The women are just as good in that regard.
Is this showing why, I guess, even in a 2025 prediction show, we're talking about 2026 of how they're going to the 2-night Royal Rumble and everything like that. If you get one night and that's just the men's Rumble, and that's probably what closes out the show, and then you get the women's or vice versa.
Yeah, I think you get night one, you'll get like 3 matches in a Rumble, and then night 2, you get 3 matches in a Rumble.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful.
EO is not a bad shout, though. Whoever said EO in the chat, that's a strong possibility with the face-off she had with Rhea just a couple of weeks ago. And if Rhea does take the title on Monday, that's a strong feud to head into WrestleMania.
And they are
Roxanne Perez
winning the Rumble. I don't see it, but it would be a shocker. I like EO because I know how much Triple H likes EO as well. He books her well. We saw what she did in NXT under him, so EO's a good shout. I mean, dude, it could be Nia Jax for all we know. How are you going to throw her over the ropes? Let's go.
Right.
But that's still what makes this the best Rumbles and everything like that, of when you can literally rattle off like 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 people. And you're like, I can make a case for every single one.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's, and that's not even including of you got a random surprise, what have you.
Oh, it could be Seth. It could be Cena. It could be like run it down. KO could win it. Sammy could surprise us. Like again, like there's a good good level of talent that they can't go wrong with.
Depth upon depth across like 2024 in pro wrestling was crazy, and 2025 is just about to get crazier.
Right. Tessa Blanchard, I don't think so.
No, the Crimson Chain will say no to that.
Jade Cargill wins the Royal Rumble, comes back from injury, eliminates Bianca.
Anyone else see her visual to where she's just out there with the splatter and just everyone was kind of just adding Naomi, run, run.
Right. No, I could definitely see it. Any other questions, thoughts, bold predictions, anything else you want to throw out there real quick? A true or false? Nothing.
Nada.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Good. Folks, I will remind everyone out there, we are back tomorrow for SmackDown. 3-hour SmackDown and no Rampage. So, cha-ching. Cheers. Happy New Year for that. We will be here live as they go back to 3 hours. Very interesting. Should be a great show. And of course, next Thursday, a week from today, the 2024 Wrasslin Life for Lifeys, the awards. As we dive into those, we'll have the voting up any minute now, I promise. But the voting will be going up, and we will get those votes in. And we'll let you pick who you thought your favorite in all the categories over the last 12 months. Looking forward to that. We got so much more coming your way. The Wing Show's coming back. More live streams than you can shake a stick at. We are here on Sunday as well. A special Sunday Raw Netflix preview show. We're looking forward to that one. And then, of course, Monday, January 6th, we go live. 7th, we got New Year's Evil, Dynamite. We got Maximum Carnage coming up. There's so much more coming your way. The 19th is Genesis. Woo, we got more wrestling you can shake a stick at, folks. But based on these bold predictions, if half of them come true, it's going to be an insane 2025. We had an amazing 2024. Looking forward to all of the rest coming up. Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Let me see. Oh, TNA review back on Thursday.
TNA.
We got a new episode tonight. So finally,
Finally.
we're back with new episodes. TNA review back on Saturday.
There we go. And we're also doing live TNA coming up.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we're 100% always evolving, always revolving, often imitated, never replicated, never duplicated. We do what we do because other people can't do what we do. Our shit is real, our shit is raw, our shit is authentic. When you talk about that rest, you put that for life with it.
Have a good night, folks. Come back tomorrow and let's see you on the flip side. Again, this with a little clip montage. I am Mr. Every Night KJ White, the Iron Man of YouTube, and that is Big Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings to you its YouTube tag stream champions of the world, the Every Night Delight KJ White. I am Big Nick. Oh my God.
We got blood.
And not only blood, but a lot of blood, like Kevin Owens. And bro, Tama Tonga coming out here literally like an R&B music video or an episode of Power with this unbuttoned fucking shirt and the pecs and the pot, them shits is percolating, my guy.
It's 7 o'clock on the dot.
That up top.
Here comes Jack Perry. Dax all alone.
Yeah, and
there he is.
Going down the ladder. Ah, here comes the devil mask. Here comes Joe. A little tease of, but this is my moment. Yeah, it is your moment. But why are you here?
I want
you had your moment, Jack Perry. So why are you here? Why are you coming at me with this shit? That bro, he's doing the full Monty out here. Just he's got a little bit more.
Oh, down goes Drew! Down goes Drew. Punk's had it out.
Oh, is there gonna be a cash?
He's gonna take off the. He's taking off the brace.
It's gonna be a cash.
Back down the hatches.
I'm feeling it.
Shut up, Anthony. No way. Yes. Cash in.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go!
Damian Priest coming out right now, trying to cash in.
Take that, Drew!
Drew at the bridge.
Do it!
And CM Punk's gonna be sitting there on the table, just looking at him as he gets pinned.
Right now, Nick. Punk standing over him.
Come on,
Priest
Damian!
Cash in, choke slam.
Seven!
Oh, duh!
Yes! I told you! I told you! I told you!
Oh my God!
Let's go!
You can have that.
Oh! Wow!
And your new world heavyweight champion, Damian Priest.
The minute Punk stood up, Anthony called it.
It's like Nia Jax stole their lunch money or something, and they can't let it go because it's ridiculous.
I'll probably go over it, so don't worry. Don't
You're on the clock.
Afraid to cut me off. Is this cutting into my 2 minutes?
Yes.
On the crowd.
There he is. I called it. Let's go.
Yeah, but
I'm so sorry that I'm quiet because I don't have any words.
I'll keep talking for
Finish
the
that, Paul.
You are not my tribal chief. Let's fucking go. And he's crying and he's weeping, and this is so good. And Solo takes out Heyman. Oh my God.
Oh, Samoan Spike to the wise man.
Oh! Don't give a shit what Meltzer or anyone else out there says. Tony Khan takes a bump. That's fucking hell.
Let's go. In the Oh, get rid